The MacBook Air has been an innovator in Ultrabooks since its release in 2008, when it raised the bar for what a laptop might be in terms of mobility, battery life, and processing power. Apple has always pushed the limits of innovation with each new version of the MacBook. So as we approach 2023, we can't help but speculate about the laptop's potential. Join us as we glimpse when and what we can expect from the MacBook Air 2023. Apple's MacBook Air is an impressive device that offers the best of functions and features. Unlike its competitors, the MacBook Air line has always lacked 15-inch laptops. For users who don't want to settle for higher-end models like the 16-inch MacBook Pro, it offers a perfect alternative. Last year's M2 MacBook Air offered a huge hardware update, but it still didn't include this option. However, that's set to change this year as Apple plans to release a new version of the MacBook Air. Mark Gurman reports that the upcoming release of 3 new MacBooks from Apple will be an updated 13-inch Air and 13-inch Pro, and a brand new 15-inch MacBook Air. However, according to the author, the new M3 technology may not be included in the upcoming models. We'll go into this further next, so stay tuned and don't miss out. The M2 MacBook Air got a complete makeover, as well as returning features like MagSafe charging and a notched display added to the model. However, the biggest highlight was Apple's M2 chip. In 2023, you'd expect the next generation chipset to follow. However, according to Gurman, Apple's Silicon M3 chipset might not launch with the upcoming devices. Does this imply we'll get the same chipsets as the previous generation? Not exactly. Instead, Gurman says they will feature something in line with the current M2 processors. This means that even if the same underlying technology is being used, chipsets for the upcoming device will bring noticeable improvements over last year's. Whether it will be the M2 Pro chipsets or an entirely new model. In terms of other specifications, we anticipate that the 15-inch MacBook Air will be comparable to the current crop of smartphones, with the base model boasting 256 GB of storage and 8 GB of RAM, and higher-end models offering 512 GB with 16 GB and 1 TB with 24 GB RAM. In addition to a high-definition 1080p FaceTime camera, the 15-inch MacBook Air will likely include a MagSafe charging connector, 2 Thunderbolt 4 connections, and a USB-C port. And lastly, the new 15-inch MacBook Air will most likely come standard with Apple's latest 35 watts dual-port adapter. For further information about the device's specs, we'll have to wait for the big reveal at WWDC 2023, so subscribe to our channel and keep up with any future updates. Gurman had previously predicted that the new 15-inch MacBook Air would be released in the spring of 2023. He speculated that Apple's M2 or M2 Pro-equipped 15-inch MacBook Air might be unveiled in March with a flashy site update rather than a live event, and made available in early April. However, in light of recent developments, the Apple Spring event now appears highly unlikely. So when exactly does the MacBook Air release? Considering that Apple first showed off last year's M2 MacBook Air at the Worldwide Developers Conference, WWDC, the most logical release date of the 15-inch MacBook Air should be at this year's event, which begins on June 5. Looking at the pricing scheme of the previous MacBook models, the M1 MacBook Air was around $999, and the M2 model with a 13.6-inch screen starts at $1,199, though customers can set it up to 2 TB of storage and 24 GB of RAM for a maximum price of $2,499, exceeding the cost of an entry-level 16-inch MacBook Pro. How does this translate to the upcoming 15-inch MacBook Air's price? Since the rumored 15-inch MacBook Air will be significantly larger than the MacBook Air 2022, it should cost a little more. So we think the 15-inch MacBook Air 2023 will go up to $1,399 or $1,499 as an entry-level price. Who else is loving the prospect of a new 15-inch MacBook Air? Give this video a like if you are. And there you have it, folks. The MacBook Air has gone a long way from its early iterations to its current form. Now, as we eagerly await the official announcement from Apple about the 15-inch MacBook Air 2023, the anticipation is palpable. But one thing's for sure, the MacBook Air, like other Apple products, has always been a game changer, and we can't wait to see how it continues to shape the future of portable computing. The Apple Watch Ultra is another Apple device setting standards in the smartwatch industry. 6 months after its release, how is it faring? Our next video will cover that, so make sure you watch that too.